IELTS स्पीकिंग बुक 16 टेस्ट नंबर 1 करते हैं। इसके सैम्पल आंसर्स देखते हैं। लेट अस स्टार्ट। पार्ट 1 की तरफ आते हैं। पार्ट 1 का टॉपिक है पीपल यू स्टडी या वर्क विद। तो ज़्यादा लोग क्योंकि स्टडी से रिलेटेड हैं तो हम लोग स्टडी का ही आंसर्स करेंगे। आफ्टर योर जनरल इंट्रोडक्शन ये सवाल शुरू होते हैं। हु डू यू स्पेंड मोस्ट टाइम स्टडिंग या वर्किंग विद एंड वाई? I spend most of time studying with my best friend because he is my class fellow and he is also taking IELTS, and he is my neighbor as well. So these three things make me spend more time with him studying through conversation, through dialogue, through interactions. So we speed up our learning process, and the quality of our learning improves as well through this process. सवाल नंबर 2, what kinds of things do you study on with other people? आप किस तरह की जो है पढ़ाई करते हैं? What kinds of things do you study? आप कैसी चीज़ें पढ़ते हैं with other people, दूसरे लोगों के साथ, and why? तो इसका आंसर है because I am a student and I have been studying in a class, so it's quite okay with me to study with my other classmates. We discuss lessons, and no matter what the subject or topic is, but we are habitual to work in a group. So we do most of our assignments that are assigned to us by the teacher. सवाल नंबर 3, are there times when you study better by yourself? Why and why not? कि क्या कोई ऐसा वक्त है जब आप अकेले ज़्यादा बेहतर समझते हैं काम करना? Yes, of course there are times in everybody's academic life when one likes to focus studying alone, because there are some topics and some concepts when you cannot focus in a group or with some people. So you have to be alone to learn many things, to ponder over things, to meditate over some topics. So yes, definitely I get some time to work alone every day. सवाल नंबर 4 है, is it important to like you study or work with? कि क्या आप जिसके साथ काम कर रहे हैं उनके साथ जो है उनको पसंद करना ज़रूरी है या नहीं है? तो इसका जवाब है yes, it is highly important for me to like the people I work with, because if I do not have a good harmony with people, and if we do not have a certain amount of liking for our partners, it's not possible to produce a quality work, whether it is study or whatever the work you are doing. But I think it's important to have a bit of liking, at least to a tolerable level. ये पार्ट हमारा कंप्लीट होता है जी। पार्ट 2 की तरफ चलते हैं। पार्ट नंबर 2 है जो कि बहुत इजी है। डिस्क्राइब अ टूरिस्ट अट्रैक्शन यू एंजॉयड विजिटिंग। किसी ऐसी टूरिस्ट प्लेस का जिक्र करें जिस पे जाके आपको बहुत ही ज़्यादा मज़ा आया। तो इसमें हमें बताना होगा व्हाट द टूरिस्ट अट्रैक्शन इज़। ये अट्रैक्शन यानी जगह कौन सी थी, व्हेन एंड व्हाई यू विजिटेड इट, हमने कब और कहाँ इसको विज़िट किया, व्हाट यू डिड देयर, वहाँ किया क्या, और एंड एक्सप्लेन व्हाई यू एंजॉयड विजिटिंग दिस टूरिस्ट अट्रैक्शन, और हमने वहाँ पे एंजॉय क्यों किया, ये बातें बताना होंगी। तो आइए स्टार्ट करते हैं। ड्यूरिंग my last academic year, our college arranged a tour, and I didn't want to lose the chance of visiting a hill station, because we have very good tourist destinations in our northern areas of my homeland, our country. So I asked my parents to give me permission and the certain amount of money that was needed. So we got registered with the college tour committee, and the tourist attraction was Mari Patriata, and the whole of the college boys were going on this tour, and also the teaching faculty was going with us. And on the appointed day in January, we left for the tour early morning. uh, I had visited this place with my family a few years back, but in summer, not in winter. This was the first time I was going to visit this amazing destination during snowing. So when we arrived after 7 hours drive in Murray, it was completely out of the world scene that I could ever imagine. It was beautiful and exotic looking place. All the trees were under the heavy snow. Everything was white except the black barks of the trees. Everything was black and white. For once, I could imagine that I had entered into the black and white world of the cinema, but it was all real. I was living that life, and after having a rest for some hours, uh, we again uh, went out, obviously not without our teachers, and we started playing with snow. We made snowballs and snowmen, and we did some photography, uh, some sports, some skating, and everything that we could in that short period of time. It was amazing, and I had never seen such sights, and only on television and on the internet, um, and the forests that were giving a silent but a calm and soothing view, and everything just refreshed my soul, my body, my emotions. I was just feeling like a snowflake. I was so light after that tour that I completely imagined myself and felt myself a new person, and it was uh, the tour that I could not forget all my life, because it was soul satisfying, it was refreshing, and it was a renewing. I would like to go at least once a year to this tourist place again. Now I'm happy because I have some valuable memories, and I also invite my friends to arrange such a tour again and live that life again for at least 2 or 3 days. Thank you. पार्ट नंबर 3 की तरफ आते हैं. पार्ट नंबर 3 में डिस्कशन टॉपिक्स हैं डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ टूरिस्ट अट्रैक्शंस. तो हमारा पहला सवाल है, व्हाट आर द मोस्ट पॉपुलर टूरिस्ट अट्रैक्शंस इन योर कंट्री? आपके मुल्क में सबसे मशहूर टूरिस्ट अट्रैक्शंस कौन सी हैं? तो जवाब है, इन आवर कंट्री there are enormously beautiful tourist attractions, because it has a variety of landscape. So most popular tourist attractions are the northern areas, Kagan, Naran, Sawat, Mari, these hill stations, and some deserts of Cholistan. And in cities there are definitely red old historical buildings of Lahore, and malls of Karachi. So these are some of the most famous tourist attractions in my country. Sawal number 2, how do the types of tourist attractions that younger people like to visit compare with those that older people like to visit? Obviously, young people and older generations have different mindsets, and there are different ways of doing things, and they have different likings and different preferences. uh, Older people most probably like to visit such tourist spots where they can relax, they can refresh their mind from the stress, and the places that are quiet, that are calm places, while the young generation wants to visit the places where there is more fun, there are more people, there is excitement, there is music, there is young fellows. So, this is the difference between the choice of tourist attraction between young and old generations. Sawal number 3. Do you agree that some tourist attractions like national museums or galleries should be free to visit? I don't think these should be free because uh, keeping tourist attractions in their shape and keeping them well definitely costs money and costs labor. So, to afford the manual labor and machinery and the equipment and the upkeep of that buildings, there must be some funds, and to gain these funds, I think there should be some charge for visiting. Like there can be the tickets and entrance charge. Nothing should be free, and if it becomes free, it would be an extra burden on the country's economy. So there should be, yes, the tickets can be of cheaper rate so that everybody can afford that. But it should never be free. सवाल नंबर इसका नेक्स्ट देखते हैं, जो कि सवाल नंबर हमारा 4 है, वो हमारे इसके सेकंड हाफ में है, उसे देखते हैं. ये 3 क्वेश्चंस जो हैं इनका, यानी चौथा, पांचवा और छठा क्वेश्चन, द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ इंटरनेशनल टूरिज़्म इनका टॉपिक है. तो आइए देखते हैं, वाई इज़ टूरिज़्म इम्पोर्टेंट टू अ कंट्री. एक कंट्री के लिए टूरिज़्म क्यों अहम है. Nobody can deny the importance of tourism for any country because it has its significance uh, for the economy of the country, for the image of the country, because a country can have better foreign relations with other countries if tourism department is quite active. A country can have better economic relations and financial fundings if it has a better tourist department, because tourism department attracts people. It can have meetings, businessmen visit the places and the countries, and definitely they start investing in that country, and through this investment, more investment is invited, direct or indirect. So uh, nobody can deny the importance of tourism. Next question. What are the benefits to individuals of visiting another country as a tourist? तो एक इंसान जब एज अ टूरिस्ट जाता है किसी दूसरे मुल्क में, तो उसके क्या फ़ायदे हो सकते हैं. देर आर जस्ट many benefits of visiting another country. Like, it allows us to discover new things which perhaps is never possible through media uh, or by reading. So when we are traveling to another country, there is no dull moment and there is no break from our enjoyment, but there is a break from our everyday and our 9 to 5 routine and stressed life, so we feel quite refreshing. Uh, Plus, we find new ways of developing our personality. We find new ways of progressing. We find an inspiration. We find many things that are possible only if we physically visit another country or place as a tourist. आखिरी सवाल है, how necessary is it for tourists to learn the language of the country they are visiting? No doubt it helps tourists to communicate when they learn language of a country they are going as tourists, but it's not necessary. It's important, but it's not necessary. And the person who keeps on visiting different countries every 6 months or a year, it's hard for him to learn language of every area and of every country. So as our age grows, it takes longer to learn a new language. So instead of spending a lot more time on learning new languages, one can do with the international language, and that is English. So I don't think it is necessary. But if one likes to learn, it's good for him. It can add to their flavor, it can multiply the amount of enjoyment the place being visited. हमारा ये टेस्ट भी कंप्लीट होता है और आपसे नेक्स्ट टेस्ट में मुलाकात होगी.